Jared Polin, FronosPhoto.com, and right now I want to break down one of the photos that I took when I was in Israel back in May of 2014. Now I'm going to flip over to the computer and I'm going to talk about this image, and you're going to take a look. Now, the story behind the image is pretty interesting. So I'm in Israel on one of these trips to go ahead and explore and take photos with a bunch of other photographers, and we decided to go out into the back streets of Jerusalem. Now, in Jerusalem, you have the Muslim quarter, the Christian quarter, the Jewish quarter, and what a lot of people don't realize is that Israel isn't just Jews. There are Muslims that have Israeli citizenship. There are Muslims who are part of the Israeli army. So that's one of the misconceptions, is that Israel is just Jews and nobody else. There are people that are happy to live there and they're not Jewish. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, as we look at this image right here, let me hit tab. I don't even want to look at the settings. It's not about the settings for me. This took place in the Muslim quarter. Now, there's so many different streets in Jerusalem that are just back alleys and roads and so many different things. Of course, you have your touristy type spots, but then you have your everyday spots that the Israeli citizens go and shop for the goods and food and things that they may need. So this image right here is you have this guy who's got this either fruit or nut cart that he's about to take down one of the streets that is at a pitch. And if you look down here at the bottom of the image, right about where his feet are, actually you can see the sandals. You can see his sandals, you can see this chain, but then there's a tire right here. As he was going down the path right here, to slow down, he simply stepped on the tire, and that caused friction against the ground, which helped him go slower down these back streets. Now, what I love about the image is the placement of the subject. The fact that he's not right in the middle of the frame. The fact that I like the fact that he's not right in the middle of the frame. And you may say that these two people back here having a conversation detract from the image, but it's not easy to get rid of the people in the background. Also, this so happens to be Simon Pollock, who was on the trip with me. He's a good friend. And the other gentleman was a local who Simon was having a really cool conversation with. And I will tell you that there are people there that we had amazing conversations with. And then, of course, there's always a few people that you just didn't want to talk to, or they didn't want to be talked to or talked with at all. But let's take a look at the breakdown of the image before we look at the settings. This guy is naturally framed by all of this stuff from all these clothes, all these different materials hanging here. It's a natural frame. Also, there was not as much light on this side, so you have light coming in from the top, lighting the top of his head, but I love the black and white and the contrast. I love the fact that we have all of these shelves back here with different items on them, as well as the Coca-Cola machine, the reflections in the windows of the Coca-Cola machine, Coca-Cola here, water bottles here, whatever all of this stuff is down on the ground. There is so much detail and information in the image that I just absolutely love it. So that's the breakdown and what I see in the image. It's about the details. It's about all of the things that are going on in this frame that make it a great shot. But I'm going to go a little deeper, and we're going to talk about the settings real quick, because I don't even know what they are. And then we're going to go and look at some of the pictures before and after to see why I chose this one. ISO 2000. I was at 1/320th of a second at f3.2. 2000 ISO with the Nikon D4S with the 24-70, the original one. The VR wasn't out yet, at 48 millimeters. What a great walk-around lens that was. I love my 14-24, but sometimes the 24-70 just gives you a different feel. At 48 millimeters on a full frame, we're basically seeing what the eye is going to see, and all of the lines are straight and even. And by the way, you can see these are old, you're talking about 2,000-year-old streets sometimes. My lines are pretty darn straight in this image. I take really good care in getting the lines straight. Is there anything that I would do different in terms of settings? I was at 1/320th of a second, most likely to freeze whatever action there was. I was at 3.2 to give me more of a leeway and more in case he is moving and I need to get my continuous focus right. And ISO 2000 is perfectly fine. So let's go back a little bit and see what's going on. Because look, if you're looking at the original image right here, you may think that this guy he's giving me an evil look. But it's just one of those frames that you captured. Because if we go back to the beginning of this, Okay, all right, yeah, I didn't even, so, oh my God, going through these images, you don't even notice some of this stuff. But it is fruit. They're not nuts. You've got fruit right here. They look like cherries, and then you've got other things back here. So here you can see he's interacting with this kid because the kid was moving the cart. Then Simon and Adam right here, learner, and then here's Mike Kelly are having a discussion with the guy. I don't know what about. And then he's on the phone. And then here's the other guy that I guess he's Simon's trying because he's trying to sell him something. And then Mike's changing the settings of his Fuji at the time, I believe. And you can see all of this going on. So you can see the progression. The guy's on the phone, and I work my way down in position to get the shot. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Somebody's talking to him, talking to him. All right, here he goes. He's going to start coming down. You can see he's not looking at me. He's not looking at me. Oh my God, there's the look. And then the next frame, not even looking at me. It's possible that this look is not even at me. It's just I caught his eyes. And look at this. You see this? Look at the difference. Nobody's in the frame except for the two guys in the back. And as we do this, there's other people walking through the frame, causing the frame to be causing the image not to be, in my opinion, good. So that's the shot. It's just how it happened. Right time, people weren't walking by. Everything fell into place right there, and that gives you a look. Here's Simon talking to the gentleman in the crowd right here, and there's a lot more images to share, but I wanted to leave you with this. I decided to put up this on Instagram, and I was like, I might as well make a video talking about it because there's so much going on. So you got to see the images that happened before, and then the image, the decisive moment that was captured. And you can see why this was the right image to choose versus the other images that were there. And it all happens in a fast time frame. You just have to you have to anticipate what your settings should be. You need to try to get some of those sample test shots to make sure that the lighting is how you want it. That's how you get your settings right. But it's a feeling. You get the feeling of the image before you take it by being in a situation and understanding the settings. And that's, guessing the settings, but having a feel for what they should be. It's amazing how that worked out because I don't even remember those first few images that I showed you here, but I do remember this one behind me because this is the keeper. But it's really cool to look at the story and the other images it made up that came before and came after. It's almost like looking at a contact sheet. So I'm going to leave it at that. You can check out the full res image over on the website. Thank you guys very much. Jared, PolandPhonosPhoto.com. See ya. So if you're sitting there going, how do I get pictures similar to what Jared's getting? Well, I created a guide called the Phronos Photo Guide to Getting Out of Auto that is going to help you do exactly that. I guarantee that I will be able to get you out of auto and shooting manual without a problem by the time you're done watching this 3-hour video guide. Now, go ahead, click on the screen right now to get a free preview to see exactly what is in this guide.